Welcome back. We are a minute before 5:30 this morning. You've got a couple live pictures there on the screen. The left one, our roof camera, the right one, SFO. And in both shots, we've got some high-level fog floating out about above the city here. We checked with SFO. They've got no reported delays because of the fog, but obviously we'll keep our eye on that because anytime we do have fog, SFO has a tendency to start backing up on the flight. So we'll let you know if we see any delays popping up there. In the meantime, some updates now on a developing story at this hour out of San Francisco, where police there are asking for your help this morning in trying to solve a spate of vehicle arsons that have, at this point, left at least 14 cars damaged in 12 separate incidences, all since last Thursday. The arsonists have been made, no arrests, I should say, have been made in connection with the arsons, but police say that some of the fires were set in the same way. So we're seeing some similar MOs here, and that basically involves lighting a little pile of newspapers underneath the wheel wells of the cars. That seems to be the commonality, at least in a couple of these incidences. Most of the fires were lit from the outside of the cars, and some of the vehicles have been completely destroyed, like the one on the right there that you see. Completely engulfed in flames there. The arsons have not been confined to just one part of the city as well, and that's making it actually hard to pinpoint a motive or who this might be that's responsible for all this. Take a look at this map here. We've sort of put indications here where each of the fires has occurred here since last Thursday. As you can see, they range the gambit here from the Richmond district all the way to North Beach, so and Ocean Beach as well. So yeah, having a tough time pinpointing who might be behind this. We'll let you know if police make any headway. In the meantime, the BART union contracts will expire tonight at midnight. A strike, very real possibility, is still on the table. Some describe the talks right now between BART management and the unions as being tense and exhausting, but all sides say they plan to work until the wee hours of the morning to try and reach some sort of deal. KRON 4's Mark Jones has been following the latest and now has this report.
SEIU, BART's biggest union, says there is no agreement yet. It's still negotiating over whether it will be a 2-year or a 4-year contract and how long the wage freeze will last. But if there is an agreement by Friday, SEIU would take it to its members for a vote by next Thursday. ATU, the train operators and station agents, say they are making progress on work rules too. But ATU and BART are still locked in a tug of war over $100 million in concessions from 5 unions.
$100 million, that would be $25 million the way I do my math. They're demanding $38 million in concessions from our union alone. So when they say fair share, they're not looking at fair share. They're trying to bust this union.
ATU says they gave up 22 train operator jobs before the bargaining ever started, and they're not getting credit for that loss. BART says those concessions are proportional to the size of the union, not a 5-way split. BART is looking for a contract by Friday. All sides have agreed to talk until midnight Thursday night. There is no talk of extending the negotiations beyond that point. In Oakland, Mark Jones, KRON 4 News.
So how much are the ongoing BART negotiations costing taxpayers? $70,000 a day since the last contract expired July 1st. That's according to BART officials. It adds up to more than $2 million so far. BART officials say every day there's no contract agreement, they can't close their budget deficit, and the agency bleeds more money. And don't forget the costs that come with the contract negotiations. They add another $2 million for taxpayers to dish out. The largest chunk of that money, more than $1 million, goes to pay BART union representatives, taking time off from work to attend contract meetings. $500,000 goes toward lawyer fees, $150,000 pays for conference room rentals, and $45,000 pays for BART's public relations firm.
So if BART trains do grind to a halt, there are a few public transportation alternatives for you. The first is, of course, the AC Transit bus system, which travels throughout the East Bay and from various East Bay locations across the Bay Bridge to San Francisco. The other option is ferry service. There are pickup points in Vallejo, also in Jack London Square in Oakland, and Main Street and Bay Farm Island in Alameda. Now, AC Transit has promised to put about 40 additional buses on the road should there be a strike, and the number of ferries is expected to double as well. But your two alternatives, if you don't want to take those, are carpooling and, of course, getting in your car and driving yourself where you need to go. But be prepared to fight a lot of traffic, especially on the first day of the strike. The Bay Bridge commute will likely be completely jammed. Now, if you're not used to taking BART or are unfamiliar with using the ferries or AC Transit, just log on to our website, or you can log on to 501.org for any and all information you might need on how to get around should BART workers strike. All right, at 5:34, let's get over to the Weather Center right now, get an idea how things are shaping up on that front. Evelyn Taft tracking that. Good morning, Ev.
Good morning, James, and things shaping up pretty much the same as yesterday. We're dealing with normal for the start of your work week. 5:36 is the time right now. Let's check on traffic with George.
And we'll check the drive time in Marin County 101. The southbound direction looks pretty good here. Turnoff. That, of course, does not include your time to park. 5:37 on the KRON 4 Morning News. James?
All right, George, thank you very much. Now for another story for you. New this morning, President Obama will serve beers. And look at that. Isn't that a great photo? Our producer, Cruzito, put that together. It's not a real photo. Relax. Nobody get upset. We just did it for have a little fun this morning. But President Obama in the center there will be serving beers to Harvard scholar Henry Louis Gates, depicted on the right, and Police Sergeant James Crowley of the Cambridge, Massachusetts Police Department. He's on the left there. It's all in an attempt to sort of dissipate all the racial overtones that have arose after Crowley arrested Gates for disorderly conduct. The charges were later dropped, and the event is planned for a picnic table outside the Oval Office if the weather is nice. But take a look at Obama there. You see what he's holding on Officer Crowley's shoulder there, a Bud Light. He's already admitted he's going to be having one of those when they get together for a beer today. And, of course, there are some people not happy about that. Budweiser's been an American brand for years, but recently was purchased by a company overseas. And they say he ought to be drinking something that's purely American. They want him to drink something else. Oh, well. They'll find controversy with anything. But we did want to ask you on Twitter this morning, if you were going to have a get-together with the president, what beer would you drink? Oh, let us know. We'll share some of the responses this morning. You can send them to us on our Twitter page. Just send it to @KRON4News. All right, 5:39 is the time. We're going to take a quick break here. Be right back in just a moment. Let's go outside, give you a live look from the South Bay. San Jose 101 here, right by the 87 interchange, moving without too many problems, although volume obviously beginning to build here in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll get another look at the commute and your forecast coming up in just a few minutes, so stay with us.